Hi, I'm Steve Thompson, president of Emery Thompson Machine.
We've been gone this long and you're just going to jump right in there?
No, I'm going to say something after you introduce yourself. Who are you?
I'm Christi Brown, Vice President of Sales and Marketing.
And we have been off for about a month and a half. We're back now. We're glad to be back. Everybody wants to know why we're away. Our wonderful IT man, Ken Putt, has retired. And so Christi had to and did volunteer to take over those jobs, as well as being Vice President of Sales and Marketing. Ken has gone off to a location that only the people who live there know how to get there.
Exactly. We got to take a 2-hour catamaran ride, right?
Yeah, something like that, after a 4-day flight in a prop jet. So congratulations, Ken, on your retirement, and we will muddle through without you, but you'll certainly be missed in the control booth and setting the whole show up. So I have a lot of trivia.
Okay.
A whole lot of trivia. My first trivia is this coming Wednesday, and I will tell you the date. It will be July 28th. On July 28th, 1904, Emery Thompson, Emery with a E-M-E-R-Y, that's how you spell Emery. Emery Thompson, my grandfather, invented the first mechanized batch freezer. Not just a batch freezer, the world's first mechanized batch freezer. This machine here received the first patent. The patent was applied for, so that means that in 2 days we begin our 120th year in business. 120 years in business. There aren't too many companies who can say that. Every batch freezer that you might ever look at is based on Emery Thompson's original patents. Every ice cream practically that you've ever eaten is either started with an Emery Thompson or now has one in their test lab, the CB350. So this little bit of trivia goes back a long way, but we're starting year 120.
We are.
I'll have more trivia, but I'll tell you that in a minute.
Okay, you don't want to keep going?
No, you go ahead.
Okay. All right, so my question is can I use a custard mix on your machines? Absolutely. So little fun fact, I'm pretty sure you've all seen our Make It Fresh videos and seminars and whatnot. We actually use custard mix quite a few times in those videos that you see. So if you see a tinge of a yellow looking bag, that's a custard mix, and then the whiter looking ones, that's a dairy mix. Anything you can pretty much put in the machine can freeze well. I like to use the term with shipping. If it fits, it ships. Kind of like if it fits, it'll freeze, as long as you stay with the required guidelines. But it works great. Custard mix is very rich and hearty. It's wholesome. I like dairy mix just as well. There's lots of dairy companies that we can send you a supply list on where to get a custard mix or just a plain dairy. But yes, they do, to answer that question in simple.
Very good. Continuing on with the trivia, back in the 1960s and 70s, that was before there was dirt, when I was young or younger, we used to have great reveals about the third week in September. Ford, Chrysler, General Motors, they would reveal their fall lineup of cars. And they would start with a sheet over the car, and the first week they'd pull a little bit of it up so you could see maybe a hubcap or something like that. Well, behind me is our 1960s, 1970s revival reveal. We're showing a little bit of this machine. That's a frozen custard machine, and that was first made by Emery Thompson in 1923. Yes, we invented that too. We brought them back to help Culver's expand their business in the late 1990s, and now we have updated the machine, and we're giving you a little partial look. The rest of it, from the cylinders down, is still in the patenting process, but that'll be coming along soon. Another trivia is about chocolate chip cookies. Here are Nestle Toll House chocolate chip cookies. Ever wonder why it's called Toll House?
I always think of the episode from Friends with Phoebe, sharing her grandma's secret recipe, and she kept calling it Nestle Toll House.
Well, she was pretty right, because here it says, in 1930, the first chocolate chip cookies are baked. Ruth Graves Wakefield invented the chocolate chip cookie in 1930. At the time, she and her husband ran Toll House Inn in Massachusetts, and thus the name
Toll House
Cookies, because it was Toll House. Continuing on that, there's a similar product to using Toll House chocolate chips called Stracciatella. Hey, I sound Italian.
Yeah.
I said it pretty good.
A real New York Italian.
Stracciatella. Yeah, what's it to you? And Stracciatella, the way the Italians do it is they take a bottle of a special liquid chocolate and they pour it into the ice cream coming out of the machine. We do it a different way. We buy enrobling chocolate, which is a block of chocolate, and cut it up into large pieces and then throw it into the machine while the ice cream is being made. The hard chocolate hits that ice cream in our cylinder and breaks it up into irregular sized pieces of chocolate chips. So instead of the Toll House, you can have maybe a piece this big, maybe a piece that big, and if you're Italian, you call it Stracciatella. Great product.
Awesome. So this one is what is the minimum and maximum of the CB200 and the CB350? So we've gone over it a few times before, but I'll bring it up again, but with the visual this time. So the 200 is a finished capacity of 3 quarts. These are quarts, by the way. So the CB200, you put in 2 quarts of mix, you're going to get a finished product of 3 quarts. So you don't put in 3 quarts, you put in 2 quarts with a finished capacity of 3 quarts. This is also, let me see if I can, for these,
oh wow,
I've done lost one. All right, well you get my drift. So imagine one more quart up here. So a CB350 is a finished capacity of 6 quarts. So we got another one, it's back there somewhere. So you're gonna put in 3.5 quarts of mix, and then you'll have a finished capacity of 6, most likely 7 quarts of mix, especially if you're putting in some inclusions like cookies, candies, some Oreos, bananas. Steve always says Oreo bananas, but I think that's a horrible combination. Don't do it. So more of a visual sake here. So when you get your CB350, we don't want to put in 6 quarts of mix because that's going to be your finished capacity. If you ever have any questions on that, Steve and I are here, as well as Mike, our technician, and a lot of the ladies that answer the phones as well can help you with those questions too. So feel free to reach out at any time.
I want to see you walk around the factory after closing hours with holding that and a margarita in the other hand and see how you do.
Well, they're empty. Oh, and by the way, these are from Frozen Dessert Supplies. Your very first purchase, you get 10% off by using the coupon code Emery Thompson. No space, just Emery Thompson. And then also, they're made in the USA too.
And even though they're a cow design, you can put dairy-free ice cream into it. No problem.
Yeah, you can.
Do I need a dipper well to sell Italian ice? Well, you can wear whatever you want. We don't care. No, wrong piece, huh? Okay. Dip well is where you take the scoop and you put it into some water to rinse it off and then scoop your ice cream or Italian ices. Do you need one? In a store setting, probably yes. From a push cart, the rules will probably be a little more lax because you're not dealing with dairy, but some type of water supply so you can rinse the scoops is helpful, because if you're going from chocolate ice to lemon ice, you don't want the chocolate ice on the lemon ice. Dip wells, I checked, are made by the most famous company is Dipwell. Amazing. DIPWELL.com. Dipwell.com. They're in Northampton, Mass. And a good general use dip well is about $130. So you can shop that around, but I really saw them in the $123 to $149 range. So $130 is going to probably hit the sweet spot. Yes, you probably will need one. Talk to your local health department.
I've even heard customers, instead of doing a dip well, they just buy 1 scoop for every flavor of ice cream they have.
That would work.
Yeah, that would definitely work if you didn't have access to put a dip well in.
It's just not as critical as ice cream, because ice cream being a dairy is sticky. But when you're doing dairy-free or Italian ice, sorbet, sorbetto, Italian water ice, what an awful name. It's mostly all the same product. It's not going to be as critical, but talk to your health department.
Definitely do that. I think that's it. I'm done.
Oh,
wait, no, I'm not. I think I have a third
you have
one.
one more.
I was going to say I do. How often should I replace my gaskets, my O-rings and springs and whatnot? So the only maintenance that we require on our batch freezers are your springs and your O-rings. Your springs is what's pushing your blades against the cylinder walls to ensure proper scraping. And then your O-rings, which is on the center shaft that goes in the back of your cylinder as well. Those, I like to tell, my customers, keep on the same page with each other. Do your springs and O-rings at the same time with each other, so once you've changed one, you've got to change the other. If you're in heavy production, we recommend changing them a lot sooner. That's about it. Now, your front cover gasket, that big off-white gasket, we go over that quite a few times, but once again, we'll bring it up. But also, when you go to wash that front cover gasket, don't put the rag on it and pull the gasket through, because you're stretching that gasket and it's not going to fit nice and snug around your cylinder any longer. It's going to be like extra saggy and droopy. So just sticking that gasket in a tub of warm water, or just taking a rag and just kind of rubbing along the sides of it, that'll be just suffice. Otherwise, you're going to be needing to replace that gasket a lot sooner than you really need to. I'm done. That was my 6.
Okay. Well, I had another one.
6. I said 6, 3.
3.
We're way beyond time.
Okay, I had another one, but we've just been told we're way beyond time, so I'll leave this till next week, but just a little hint. They make great planters for your petunias. Have a good evening.
Goodbye.
Have a good day. Goodbye.